Hello, I hope your day is going well. So, should you fully trade out and max out your blue gear before starting to work on your purple gear? So, one of the reasons players say to max out your blue gear and your traits on your blue gear is to up this score here, because the higher this score is, the more likely players are to let you go with them into dungeons if you don't have a guild that's already letting you go into dungeons with them. There's a couple of lines of thinking about this. One has to do with purple gear not being something that you can really level up a whole bunch of. Blue gear is easy to come by, right? And if you go into the auction house, you'll see a lot of blue armor in here. For instance, helmets. This you can just buy the helmet straight up for a decent, small amount of lucent. This is still probably a lot of lucent, right? This is almost what, $10 here almost. So yeah, don't let the low numbers trick you. But you can build up a lot of lucent by selling any traits that you extracting and selling traits. Oftentimes for 10 lucent on most traits, and then as you can see, like the Resolute Crusader helmet has 2,500 things listed for max mana, so the chance of selling your max mana trait at 10 from this helmet is probably not good. But you can buy, as you can see, for a small amount of lucent, you could get, if you had this helmet, you could pretty much get what you wanted from it. And then let's see if we can find a better helmet to show you. So on Gloomguard, you can see the max health is 35. But if we were, so if you had a Gloomguard helmet and you wanted to unlock this one at max health, then you would have to spend 35 for one of them. And then you wouldn't need to spend that much for the next two. We go over this in the trait video. But anyway, the point is, players are saying that because these are so low that you can get most of your traits going. You can max out traits on gear pretty cheaply. So like melee endurance would cost you 30 to max it out. But certain things like max health will cost you a little bit more, probably closer to 90 to 100 lucent to max it out. And then certain stats are still worth even more than that. So that's one of the reasons behind it, but any lucent spent at all is lucent gone. So it depends on how much gear you're getting and how much lucent you're actually getting from it. If you play these co-op dungeons, you can see the level 20s will give you blue gear, and the level 50s should be giving you purple gear. I can tell you right now, if I run 10 of these a day, I will get one piece of purple gear a week. All right, the drop rate is really horrible, but I will get 2 to 3 pieces of blue gear a day. And then if you're killing enemies for purple gear, just out in the world, because some enemies drop purple gear, some bosses drop purple gear, that drop rate's even lower than the dungeon drop rate, it seems, and there's almost no gear you get from doing that. So essentially, it's really hard to get your purple gear. Now, the auction house on purple gear is getting better. Of course, if you want to straight up buy the piece of armor, it's going to cost you quite a bit of lucent. The better the gear is, supposedly, the more it'll cost, but I think it's just more like what drops more. So for a tank, shot command plate armor would probably be better, but for a like a damage dealing paladin or something, a plate of the field general might be better, because this one has strength and perception and stun chance, while this one has strength and damage reduction. So when you go to upgrade purple gear, you're going to want to make sure it has these stats on it that you want. If the purple gear doesn't have stats on it, it's not something you want to bother leveling or putting points into. Go ahead and use a trait extraction stone, extract the trait, and sell the trait online. Or if you have a piece of purple gear that has a trait on it that you know you're going to want, just keep that purple gear for leveling up your trait. Let's see how much getting traits actually pushes up our combat power to see if it's worth doing. It's going to cost us Solent, and it's also going to cost us Lucent because we had to buy the traits, unless we just got lucky and looted the traits that we needed. Which maybe, if you're looting the traits that you need, then all it's going to cost you is a little bit of Solent, and that would definitely be worth it. But if you're spending Lucent, it may not, so let's find out, right? So there we go, we unlocked that. Level it up, so we'll level it up now. Remember where our combat power was before. So we'll go ahead and max out this helmet with all of its traits. We'll get them all maxed level, and we'll see how much the one set of gear with maxed out traits got us. Keep in mind, all the gear is already level 9. Alright, so now our gear score is moved up to 2472. Alright, so let's trade out something else. And we'll jump forward here. Okay, so we traded out our armor, and now we moved it to 2482. So you can see putting traits into the armor is not moving our combat power up that much, and it'll make us slightly stronger. That is true. I'm going to quickly put traits into every piece of armor that isn't quite max traded yet, and then we'll show you from there. All right, so now we've traded out our blue gear, and as you can see, we've moved up to 2522. Again, not a huge improvement. Now I want to show you another trick with combat power here. All right, so if we completely unequip all of our gear, our combat power drops to 610. So this combat power comes from being level 50 plus our skills, right, where we have our skills leveled up. Okay, so if we come in, we can see I've got most of my active skills are mostly up to purple right now. I'm still pushing some of them to get them up to purple. And then, of course, we'll have to pick the best ones and push those up even higher. But from this right here, I get 610 combat power. This will push your combat power up a little bit higher than traits will, if you're just looking to hit that threshold for people to let you in and on their dungeon raids. All right, we unequipped our weapons, so we dropped our combat power to 1850. So I want to show you. All right, so if we equip a fully traded out blue weapon, all right, we equipped it, so our combat power went up by about 340 points, something like that. So if we unequip it now, so that was 2197, and we equip a level 6 purple weapon with some traits into it, our combat power goes up to 2183. So almost the same amount of combat power as a level 9 blue weapon that has the max traits in it. So this, as you can see, it does have 3 traits, and the max health is traded out. Of course, it has a blessing of 88, which is like 15%, 17%, I think, for getting to the next trait. But anyway, but it's level 6. All right, and to really show you about what trading does versus purple gear, we're going to take this, we're going to take our helmet, right? It's fully traded out and maxed out in level. And we're going to swap it out for our purple helmet here. All right, so we're going to put all of this into this and show you what happens. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we'll just swap out the helmets right now to show you the difference in power just between the helmets with no levels. So 2524 is my power. I pop this helmet on. 2468 is what my power goes down to. So this helmet's only about 60 power less than the fully traded out blue helmet. So now we're going to go move all the levels from this helmet over to this helmet and get the blessing and see how it works. All right, so let's move this over. We're going to lose all of our traits. All right, it's going to go to level 6. So our level 9 blue gear will only push our purple up to level 6. All right, so we'll transfer just straight over the power this has to this, and we'll lose all of our traits, so not quite all the power. But we'll gain 960 blessing, which is like almost 300% blessing. And with the same amount of experience into it as we had with the blue helmet with no traits, we have the 2492. So we're looking at like 32 less power, so it's not really that much. And that's without any traits. If we go ahead and level this up and start putting traits in, it'll be so much stronger. All right, so we went and made it max level. As you can see, our power goes up to 2504. So now we're only 20 power less than we were with the fully maxed out blue helmet with traits on it. So you can see the traits really are not providing that much power. And then you're burning lucent on them, and then all they do is become a blessing. Okay, and just to show you another test with the rings, we have a fully leveled up blue ring and then a not leveled up purple ring. So if we put on the blue ring, all right, we go up to 2103. We take it off. We put on our purple ring. We go up to 2087. So this just goes to show you that leveling your blue gear up and trading it out, fully trading it out, doesn't actually give you that much more combat power, if any more combat power, than just leveling up purple gear with no traits. So one reason people are saying to max out the traits in here is just for the PvP part of it, where it makes you maybe a little bit better, a few more hit points, a few more things, but the developers don't think it makes you that much stronger because it barely affects your power score. On top of that, they may also be trying to sell their blue traits. They're trying to make money off of traits off of blue gear on the auction house. So they may be telling you that, just trying to get you to buy their blue traits. So ultimately, it's up to you on how much lucent you have to spend, how much lucent you're making in the game, on whether or not you trade them out. But do you have to? Is it necessary? No, it definitely is not. If I wasn't making videos for YouTube and testing all of these features out, I definitely would not have traded out my blue gear. And any of my gear that's not traded out yet will not get traded out. I'll just wait for the purple drops that I'm looking for rather than wasting lucent. I'll just keep selling everything I get for lucent. Until then, if you've enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.